Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashmi Shai Bashem Barakak Wadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone that have taught us this truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Shai, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops that have taught us this truth. And Yahweh Bashmi Shai Barakathum to the overall elect, and it's your brother Laban. So now let's get right into it. As this reads from the BBC.co.uk news, large UK-wide pandemic preparedness test planned this year. Emergency service teams, local councils, and government officials will take part in the full multi-day pandemic preparedness exercise to help the UK prepared for potential future threats. The test, which is likely to take place in the autumn, will involve thousands of people across different parts of the UK. Minister Pat McFadden has announced. The plans come in response to the first set of recommendations made by the COVID-19 inquiry, the ongoing public inquiry into the handling of the pandemic. The chair of the inquiry, Baroness Hallett, found the UK was ill prepared for the Rona pandemic and failed its citizens. The National Pandemic Response Exercise will be the first of its kind in nearly a decade, designed to test capabilities, plans, and procedures in the face of a new threat, the government says. The findings and lessons will be made public, as requested by the Baroness Hallett, who made a series of recommendations in a 217-page report published in July 2023. Another measure will be a full test of emergency alert system, which sounds an alarm through mobile phones later this year. And if I'm correct, we've already spoke about this last week in regards to how they're gonna set an alarm on our phones and stuff like that. And I do remember speaking about this too, probably like around that year, 2023. And so they're bringing this back again. So, one has to think, what are they planning? What is it that they're going to do this year? If this is what they're telling us that we got to do to prepare the wide pandemic in this case, right? And this is the thing, you see, we in this truth, of course, we have to be wide awake at all times. We can indulge in things, we get caught up in our world, in the things that we like to do, right? But as the scriptures says, especially in these times, man, Luke 21 and verse 36. Matter of fact, let me begin by reading verse 35. For as a snare shall it come on all of them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore and pray always that you may be accounted worthy to escape all these things, the things which will concern Jacob's trouble, that shall come to pass and stand before the Son of Man. Right. So that's what we all have to do. We all have to be watchful and as well as pray at the same time. So, as far as it goes, Esau's getting ready to do something, and we don't know what it is. We don't know how it's going to all play out, but Esau's planning on doing something, whether it's this year or the following. Okay. So whatever we're doing in our, in our world, we have to always be mindful not to get caught into that thing that we do in our world. Whether it's your job, whether it's, you going out, with your woman, or, whether it's you going out to the gym, whatever it is that you do that brothers get into, man, like, always be mindful of your surroundings and your environment because anything is capable of happening in these times, and we're not of the world of darkness as well as the rest of our people are, and we're not of this world. Period. We're looking for a world to come, which is following. So things are going to happen, and before we get to that point, so what I want to do is I want to read this as well. 1 Thessalonians 5 and verse 6. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober, right? For they that sleep in the night and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplates of faith, love, and for an helmet, the hope of salvation. For the Most High have not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Yahweh Shai the Anointed, right? So it's not for us to go back to sleep. It's for us to be sober-minded and to do the things that are written that will lead to our salvation, as it is written in the book of what is it? If I'm correct, Second Peter's 1 and 10, where it mentions, do all of these things to make your calling and your election sure, right? But that's a different topic. But the point that I want to convey again is that we have to be watchful and take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that the day come upon you unawares, right? So the word surfeiting means to what? Overly indulge, an excessive amount of something, cause someone to desire no more of something as a result of having consumed or done it to the excess. And I mean, we're in the flesh. That could happen to the best of us. We can get caught up in doing, our day-to-day things because it's habituary, right? So, like I said, we easily get caught up into that stuff. But, again, you have to always bear in mind that we're in the end, especially in these times, and this world is about to change for the worse until everything gets better. All right. So we want to be, of course, counted worthy to escape all of these things, as it reads in Luke 21 and 36, that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. And we want to be delivered as well. All right. Just bear me for 1 minute. Yeah. So, okay. We're going to move forward. Right. Yeah. So what I want to do is I want to read this article as well. And this is from The Hill. And we spoke about this at the camp last week ago. And I just want to bring it back again because I just read this article over here, right? That in the UK, we're being prepared. We're going to be prepared this year to prepare for another pandemic. So I just want to tie this with this article, as this reads over here from The Hill. Bill Gates on Trump meeting. Frankly, I was impressed. Billionaire philanthropist and Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates reflected on a recent dinner he had with President-elect Trump in an interview with the Wall Street Journal, saying he was impressed by the former president. I had a chance about 2 weeks ago to go have a long and actually quiet, intriguing dinner with him, Gates told the WSJ editor-in-chief, Emma Tucker. Gates said the discussion during the dinner, which Susie Wiles, the incoming White House chief of staff, also attended, focused on innovation in the global health sphere. Trump reported got pretty excited as they discussed the potential development of a cure for HIV and polio mitigation efforts. He and the COVID days accelerated the vaccine innovation, Gates said, according to WSJ. So I was asking him if maybe the same kind of thing could be done here, and we both got, I think, pretty excited about that, right? And the Lord knows exactly what they meant by that. Now, right about now, DJ Trump has announced that they're going to be willing to spend $500 million to, you know, boost the AI infrastructure all around, just so that, they can reach to their golden age, as DJ Trump once said, in regards to the country, All right, having the country to be the first nation to be AI technologically advanced. Okay, and in that he had this doctor. Well, he had two guys that were speaking about this particular VC or vaccine that they're gonna announce, which is gonna be able to cure cancer cells, and I'll talk about that in a moment. All right, and there's some stuff behind closed doors in regards to that vaccine that some women have said as to what that can basically bring about, and just as what happened in times prior, 5 years ago, and what's going on with people right now that took on with the agenda of the elite. Just being careful with my words. I mean, you got a lot of individuals that wish that they would have never made that move because they're feeling different. And they're not feeling different in a good way either. All right. So these devils, we know that their agenda, especially us in the truth, us that are involved, that have the light, and we can clearly see that this devil is indeed the devil. And in this case, he wants to take lives, a lot of lives he wants to take. And the VCs that people have already taken, it's again making them feel terrible to the point of almost dying. And I mean, it really depends on how much you've taken as well. Because even as of recent times, last year especially, there's been a lot of people that's actually dropped dead. And we're talking about young people that are in sports. And they ain't never gonna return back to the planet Earth again. So there's no way that we in this truth that know this devil more than he probably knows himself, or they as a collective know themselves. We don't trust these devils as far as we can, see them. All right, as the scriptures tells us not to trust in these devils, and as well as it reads in the book of Jeremiah, the 17th chapter, "Cursed be the man that trusteth in man." All right, we're here to trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. If we happen to be sick, we're gonna deal with it in the way that we deal with it best. Now, as brothers would also say, if you have a disease where you have to go get some surgery done, as we say in the States, but in the UK, brothers say operation, then you gotta go get your operation. But if it's a disease that can be taken care of, then you take care of it more in a natural kind of sort of way. All right, and you have faith in the Lord in that kind of fashion. So, that's what we do over here. We trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay, just like when that era dropped upon us, a lot of us didn't get carried away. Now I'm pretty sure some of us got swayed because brothers have different levels of faith, right? We ain't on the same level of faith, right? But for me personally, when that time dropped, I felt like, man, we about to transcend to the mark. Esau's about to roll in the mark. That's what I was thinking, you know. Um, but yeah, as time progresses, though, things could be going down this year with their agenda, and if not, probably next year. We'll have to wait and see. So, as this reads, Ephesians 5 and verse 16, without too much talking now, redeeming the times because the days are evil. And that's what we do to you. We always bring back to your mind that evil is coming. This is why you have to be well aware, especially, you brothers and you sisters that are watching these lessons. It's not for you to get caught up, as well as even including ourselves, because even at times we get caught up in our own little world. So at the end of the day, you have to always bear in mind that, okay, you may be enjoying yourself 1 minute and doing whatever you like to do, but there's going to come a time where the things that you enjoy the most, you're going to have to give all that up. All right? Whether it's family, whether it's your job, whether it's your hobbies, no matter what it is. We're coming into a time when this devil is really going to unleash the mark of the beast. And yes, I just said it. And we'll see what happens with YouTube if they'll allow this video to slide with me making that statement. But yeah, once Esau brings it out, then we're gonna have to make up our minds whether we are gonna agree to it or whether we're gonna rebel against it. You know, so realistically, you want to have the mindset of anything can happen and not get too caught up and to not get too caught up in the things of this world, man, as much as possible. The more you grow is the more you should be less connected with the world, so to speak. All right, that's all I got to say with that. Jeremiah 6 and verse 17 now. Also, I set watchmen over you. Matter of fact, let me go up a little bit. Let's go up. Tell you what, I'll just read this over here. Jeremiah 6 and verse 17. Also, I set watchmen over you, saying, hearken to the sound of the trumpet. But they said, we will not hearken, and therefore hear ye nations, and know, O congregation, what is among them. Hear, O earth, behold, I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts, because they have not hearkened unto my words, nor to my law, but rejected it. To what purpose cometh there to me incense from your Shabbat, which is in relation to saying the word Sabbath. Let me look up that word, Shabbat. And it also can go back to the number 7 as well. Yeah, I was right. Yeah, so the word is Shabbat or Shabbath, which they have here, the son of Joktan, the descendant of Seth, the son of Ra'amah, the grandson of Cush, and the descendant of Ham. Right, so yeah, it just means 7, right? Or it could also mean the Sabbath too, as the Sabbath day comes in on the 7th day as well. So yeah, that's that right there. Yeah, so I mean, this over here can still be read, even though this applied back then, but it applies now because our people don't want to hearken to what we're saying. Even the ones that claim to know the truth, they don't want to. They don't want to go all the way and agree to the words of the Lord on what's coming from our side. In terms of great millstone is concerned. They still want to teach the way that they want to teach, and it's not the 100% truth. All right, Jeremiah 6 and 20 once again. To what purpose cometh there to me incense from Sabbath? I'm going to just say that and the sweet cane from a far country. Your burnt offerings are not acceptable, nor your sacrifices sweet unto me. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will lay stumbling blocks before this people, and the fathers and the sons together shall fall upon them, and the neighbors and his friends shall perish. Right. And what's a stumbling block? The greatest stumbling block that's before our people. Ecclesiastes 9 and verse 12. For man also knoweth not his time, and as the fishes that are taken. Let me get to the point. I'll get to the point. Then I'll get back to this. Here's the point over here. This is one of the stumbling blocks of our people, right? So yeah, verse 14. We'll begin there. Verse 13. There's wisdom have I seen under the sun, and it seemed great unto me. And there was a little city and a few men within it. And there came a great king against it, and besieged it, and built great bulwarks against it. Now there was found in it a poor wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city, yet no man remembered that same poor man. Then said I, wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard. So that's the point. That's one of the greatest stumbling blocks, is the fact that we're poor looking, right? So because we're poor looking, most of our people don't really want to listen to what we got to say. As long as you look crisp and well packaged and presented like the boys in purple do, then they'll listen to you. All right. The Lord is looking for the elect. The Lord is looking for deeper thinkers than that. All right. So despite the fact, the way that we look and the way that we teach, if you're the elect, you're going to see right through on how we look. And you're going to consent to the words of wisdom, which is going to proceed from those men that you're listening to. All right. So that's all there is to it. So that's one of the stumbling blocks that our people are going to fall victim to not hear the word, is because of how we look and how we how we convey the message. All right. So the Lord have set us up to be watchmen over Israel, to give warning to Israel. And being that we're the watchmen and we've been given the light, the snare of the day of evil, or the day of the Lord in this case, won't come upon us. All right. It's going to be a snare unto the people that are so unaware. Ecclesiastes 9:12. Now, for man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. This wisdom have I've seen under the sun, and it seemed great unto me. Yeah, so I didn't really mean to read that, but yeah, verse 12 is the point. All right. So even though we tell our people and we're telling the world that this is going to happen, people don't really consider our words, because they're looking at the world and they're looking at their lives that it's always going to be, when in fact the time is going to come. Evil is going to be right upon them as a snare. Okay. But had they listened, they would have saw the snare. They would have saw the evil day coming as a thief, as a snare. All right. So once again, when Esau gets down and dirty, a lot of these people are going to fall victim to it all over again, just like they did during the experimental days. All right. We over here, we're paying close attention, man. Now, like I said, I have no idea what these people were talking about, because I haven't did that much research, and they're not going to reveal that information, are they? But we just know that something is gonna be had. DJ Trump has for the longest time been conveying and projecting like he's against the world establishment, but he has connections with the establishment. You know, he has friends that's tied to the World Economic Forum as well, even though he signed off the United States of America, so-called, from the World Economic Forum, but he's still tied and connected to those people, man. So guess what? Their agenda is still on the way, and the agenda is to create an AI infrastructured world, so that, so much so, in order for you to get access to that world, you're gonna have to get that CHIP. Or as I've just said, and I'll say it again, you're gonna have to get the mark of the beast. All right? And that's all there is to it. That's all I have to say on this. With that, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashmi Shabbat Shemar Rakak Wadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone. And I am out. Shalom.